Hey folks, Twisted Christian. I want to bring this to your attention. This whole thing with the E-Krona, and is it connected somehow, some way to the dinar revaluation? And the dream that I had, or the dreams that I had them 7, 8, 9 years ago, and I did put them in the video when I first started making videos. So that video will play after this video, so you get the full context of the video. In one of the dreams, the dinar was equal 1-to-1 with the USD. But the other part of the dream dealt with the krona, right? The Swedish krona, the Norwegian krone, and the Danish krone. And all three of these said 205. Everything else was blanked out, right? The euro, the franc, the yen, the yuan, they were all blanked out except for the krones and the kronas. And so that has baffled me for a long time. But more recently, more and more, I've been thinking more and more about it because I see that they are test piloting the CBDC E-Krona. So Risk Bank extends E-Krona pilot to real-world test environments. So this is moving forward. Right? We got another article, Central Bank of Sweden invites financial market actors for second phase of E-Krona pilot. And so there's been some talk with this E-Krona that all these countries that use krona, they can use this E-Krona. So that's pretty big. So within the dream, there were three, those three were together. The Swedish, Norwegian, and the Danish. And so I wanted to point that out for those who have been following and you guys are studying that because you guys do ask me about the E-Krona. As far as that I know, there's no way to get E-Krona unless you live, I believe, in Sweden or one of these three places that have krona as their currency. And we need to watch what's going on. Yes, we need to watch what's going on in those three countries concerning the E-Krona. So we have the Swedish, Norwegian, and the Danish. So that might be a symbolism of them three coming together under this E-Krona banner. But the numbers was 205 for each one. And that would be the exchange rate with the dinar. And if you actually look at the exchange rate, so looking at the current exchange rate with Sweden, you look at one United States dollar equals $8.27 of Swedish krona. Let's look at the other ones. Each USD equals $8.31. So those two currencies are in line with each other. And then we have the Danish krone. 1 USD equals $6.08 krone. Okay, so just looking at the exchange rate between the Swedish krona and the Iraqi dinar, we currently see it at for 1 Swedish krona equals 176.75 Iraqi dinar. So again, looking at the 205, right? 205 Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish krone, going to the website. Right, so it was a 1-to-1, but down here for these three here, it was 205. So that would be 205 dinar per krona. So that's kind of weird because it shows a 1-to-1, but this very well could have been some type of sign or signal that, or maybe around the events of whatever's going on in the krones. I think it has something to do with the CBDC. And is this all connected? You know, right now you can't trade. I guess Bitcoin is banned in Iraq. So since the Bitcoin is banned in Iraq, really right now there really isn't any private investments. So it kind of just makes me wonder, one of the reasons that maybe cryptocurrency is related to this, and maybe how fast and how soon they can launch these CBDCs, because that's going to be important. We look at the current events that's going on today, and we think that, you know, things could get really bad really fast at any time. And then we're looking at CBDCs, and we're seeing basically the snail pace that is now picking up. Right? There's many articles out there now that all these different banks, they're all looking to go towards all of this. And I do think a lot of it will have to do with XRP, because they're really moving forward in this whole thing with the E-Krona. And it's going to change the way that they do business. So if these countries, especially Sweden, they start using CBDCs, well, it's going to force other central banks to start using CBDCs, especially if that's going to be their preferred method. And maybe Iraq gets on board. Remember, they're inviting financial market actors. Who knows if anybody from the Central Bank of Iraq is looking at this? And I'm pretty sure that they are. They just, pretty much tight-lipped about the whole thing. And we know that Iraq is trying to go all digital with everything if they can. One of the reasons why it has so much cash in its economy is because they do not trust the banks. But eventually, there's going to be a big push. Iraq has been trying to do a big push going towards digital. I just don't think that they're telling us everything. I think they really could be working on things behind the scenes. And if it has something to do with the cryptocurrency markets or the CBDCs, I think that's what we need to start looking for, is start looking at the news for CBDCs and see how fast, and because I think pretty soon, maybe even by the end of the summer, we could have an announcement, other than from China, as far as these CBDCs. And this could play a part in the global currency reset. So I want you guys to look at that, investigate that. What could it possibly mean? And looking at the possibility of the CBDCs being part of the global currency reset, and how it's going to affect the cryptocurrency markets. Because I think a lot of cryptocurrencies are just going to end up, when they do release these CBDCs, I do think a lot of cryptocurrencies are going to go away. And I think it's in part because a lot of people are going to start putting their faith back into the banking system because of this global currency reset. And people are going to be excited because now they're wealthy and all this. They're not even going to be thinking about cryptocurrency at that very moment when this begins to happen. And if people start thinking that once the dinar revaluation happens, and then more and more happen as time goes on, people are going to be pulling their money out wherever they can to invest in the next currency they think that's going to go up. So I think we need to keep watch and focus on what's going on with E-Krona, and whenever the second phase ends, hopefully we'll get some type of report, or they'll be sharing information as information will be shared to the news about what's going on with this pilot program. So this, like I said, this dream is very strange, and maybe the 205 has some type of connection, and maybe it has a connection to the E-Krona. So if you guys have any thoughts or comments on that, go ahead and post those down below in the description. But I am going to go ahead and repost. What's going to go ahead and come behind me is that video about the dinar revaluation, and it actually was higher than $3.22. There was some fluctuation, which reminds me of kind of the fluctuation you see sometimes in the cryptocurrency markets or even in stocks.
It's Jay, Twisted Christian. Today I'm going to talk about some prophetic dreams that I had concerning the Iraq dinar. I had these back in 2012 and 2013, and I'm just putting it out there. One, for as a record, and two, if anybody can see maybe an interpretation on part of the dreams that I had. But this initially was the push that kind of gave me to continue to buy more and more, as much as I could over the years, because I did have those dreams, and how God, does God speak to us prophetically in dreams. Okay, so I had this dream back in, I had the first one back in 2012. In the first dream, I was looking at the Central Bank of Iraq website, and it was spinning like the lottery, like the numbers. They were all, not the lottery, but like the jackpot machines that you pull the handle down and they were spinning. That's what they were doing, and it did that for the entire dream. So I woke up from that dream, was like, okay, well, obviously back in 2012, Iraq was, they were headed to where they are at now, which, they're rebuilding and they're doing all kind of things with their finances and their gold reserves, up until 2014 when ISIS took over, basically half of Iraq. But it just kind of showed me, okay, well, there's a lot of things that are volatile with, this currency. About a year later, I had another dream where I was looking at the Central Bank of Iraq website, and the rate was 1 to 1, dinar to dollar. And all the other currencies that were there, that were showing on this website, they all had dashes. And the only ones that weren't were the coronas and the crones, like the Swedish krone. There's a couple other ones that the CBI site lists, and they just said 205, with all the different krones that there are currency values of different countries. There's about 3 of them that had 205. Okay, and then I had another dream in 2013. In the dream, I woke up from sleep and I checked the CBI website, and the rate was like $3.22. And in the dream, it was like all exciting and everything. But then in the same dream, it was like I went back to sleep. And then the very next day, I checked the website again, and it was 5 USD to the dinar. And I was like, whoa. But in the dream, I had a sense of a feeling that the rate of 5 USD to dinar, it would only last for a couple days. In that particular dream, that tells me, okay, when the value first takes place, don't turn them all in, because for a couple days it's going to be above $5. So that's part of my strategy, looking for that. So when it does revalue, out of all the dinars I'll take in about maybe a couple million and exchange them at the $3 rate. But if it's 1-to-1, I'm not going to exchange. I'm only going to exchange enough to get me through the year until the rate does go up. And if the rate goes up, like according to the dream, I had the dream it was 1-to-1, and then the next dream that I had after that, and when it was up at 322, and within that same dream, we woke up the next day and it was $5 USD to dinar. So, and that only lasted a couple days. So that's basically my dreams. If you guys have any comments or you want to talk about it, go ahead and post your comments on it.